Mr. Subramaniam, one thing I wanted to ask is that, do you think the life of a banker is a perfect fodder for, writing any book or, any fictional this thing, story?
Your question is about featuring in a book or about bankers writing books?
Everything, featuring to say story
I
ideas to
think
a
I think I
characters.
think a banker's life is very exciting. A lot of
Uh-huh.
people these days have a lot of people in the past had either thought of bankers as very glamorous people who spend time on golf courses and parties, or thought of them as clerical staff who you know who just don't have a life. Actually, bankers also need normal human beings, people
Exactly.
who have a life, people who have their own sets of insecurities, people who have their own sets of challenges, and two, what makes bankers special is that deal with other people's money, and that's where the excitement comes in.
Excited comes
So
in.
that leads to frauds, manipulations, and in a bank you have so many people working, which leads to relationships, crime, passion. So a bank and bankers are the true fodder for any thriller writer. You know,
Exactly.
if you write about happenings in a bank, you can actually write about a lot of things. I think that's the reason why I personally started got into this field.
Exactly. I want to elaborate on your point is that what is a misconception most people are, not just bankers but anybody coming from say a management background who's going to fiction or writing. So what is a misconception, more of the misconceptions which people have about them, that when they into writing and everything?
I don't think people have a misconception about people from management with a management background getting into writing, but I think they tend to broad brush all management graduates, saying that they don't know how to write or just write for the heck of it. Okay. If you go back and look at the bestseller list today, almost all of them are management graduates.
True.
So there's got to be something they're doing right, right?
Exactly.
So give them the credit for it.
True, true,
And
true.
be it Chetan Bhagat, Amish Tripathi, me, Ashwin Sanghi, Ravinder Singh, or anybody else, all of them are management graduates. I'm
True.
not saying they became bestsellers because of the management degrees. I'm saying that their background teaches them something, and all of them are good storytellers, and that's the reason why they have come up in this particular line. So the
So
misconception about them that they all write rubbish is,
should be kept. Yeah.
I think the market kind of proves them wrong.
Exactly. And what is the one difficult part? Maybe not one, but more than one, of while writing or dealing with people and publishers and everything. What is the difficult part? Right from writing to dealing with publishing for someone
I
like
think
you
I
from.
think writing the novel, writing the first draft is probably the easier part. Editing is very difficult, and I say this because you have to reread again and again. Bank Bankrupt, I would have read at least about 17, 18 times to bring it to the stage that it's come in now. And uh, sometimes when you read a book 17, 18 times, it can get really frustrating. And two, promoting your book after that is a big challenge. And I think these are the difficult parts of a book rather than just writing the book. The the worst part of the most difficult part of a book actually comes after you have written the book. For new authors, the challenges are completely different. Somebody writing a book for the first time, one, getting a publisher interested, getting the right publisher interested is a challenge. You cross that hurdle, getting him to print the right number of quantities is the next challenge. You cross that hurdle, getting the stores to pick up your book and stock. How do you make yourself seen? How do you get yourself known? That's the next challenge. So it's while it's the best time for a new author to get published because a lot of publishers are today open to picking up Indian authors, it's also the worst time for a new author to get published because the market conditions are such that standing out and making a difference is that much more difficult these days.
True, true. And I just have one last question: is now, are we expecting anything like out of box from you in your next book, or will you be planning something like that?
My next book, which is The Bankerupt, is a very different book than my previous books.
Okay.
It's a book about life in academia. It's a book about an issue which takes place in MIT Boston. It's about a wife of a banker and a banker and their lives. It's about gun control in the US. It's about the entire political system in the US. So it's a very, very different book from all my previous books.
So this is
So,
something to look forward to for
so
everybody
this is
who is your
this is
fan and otherwise also to pick up.
absolutely it's a book to look out for. It's very, very different from my previous books. Comes out from a new publisher, which is Penguin, and I have lots of hopes in this book. It'll appeal
Thank you.
to a much
I
wider
hope
audience.
that's what I'm going to start with this book, I guess, with it. Thank
Sure.
you, Veritam. Thanks,
Do
Atul,
read
for
it. Let me know what you think of it.